UCLA throttles Penn State to unranked status in a 42-37 win that Penn State had no business losing. And Penn State fans, I'm going to come on here yet again and try to give you my empathy. But you have to accept that it is time to let go of James Franklin after this loss to UCLA. He's just not the guy. I saw a tweet. I don't do Twitter a lot, but I saw a tweet. James Franklin is the guy before the guy. It's like that bridge coach that you have before the Super Bowl winning coach comes in. It was like Jeff Fisher before Sean McVay. Probably a bad example, but you guys get what I'm saying. James Franklin is just not it. But neither is Drew Aller. Like, if Penn State fans are going to sit here and try to convince themselves that their quarterback, Drew Aller, is one of those ones, they got to have a real conversation in the mirror. They got to have a real conversation with the scouting department. They got to have a real conversation with their coaching staff. Because Drew Aller was the best player on the field for Penn State, and that wasn't saying much considered you just lost to a winless, until now, freshly fired head coach unit in UCLA. Penn State was 24.5-point favorites, and they were down 20 at the half. UCLA led literally 27-7 going into halftime. I mean, they just started out hot. UCLA had 269 rushing yards in this game against that Penn State defense. Penn State struggled. This is the third game in 2025 that they have 200 or fewer passing yards. But you're going to try to sit here and tell me that Drew Aller can be one of those ones. I don't think Drew Aller is NFL draft worthy. I think Drew Aller could genuinely be an undrafted NFL free agent if he goes to the draft. And the Bruins just dominated time of possession. They held the ball for almost 40 minutes, 39 minutes and 10 seconds of time of possession. That's a long, drawn-out, embarrassing loss. Like, if James Franklin can't win a whiteout game against Oregon that they potentially blow a lead in the fourth quarter to, and then you can't beat an unbeaten, or excuse me, all defeated UCLA team. And would you know, talking about Drew Aller again, how does Penn State lose that game versus Oregon? Drew Aller throws an interception to a coverage that he's seen before, on a team's coverage that he's seen before. You would think after letting the Oregon game slip away that they would be ready to put belt to ass to UCLA. UCLA literally lost 2 games to the group of 5, and they got beat by New Mexico 35-10. You had a coach making his Power 4 debut who just got promoted after the firing. UCLA scored on the first 5 drives. They were 6 for 6, perfect in the red zone. Again, ran for almost 300 yards. They punted once, dominated that time of possession. They never held a lead the whole season, and in this game, they never trailed. I will say that again. A winless, freshly head coach team in UCLA had never led the whole season, and in this game, they never trailed. 27-7 out of the gate. Perfect in the red zone. Held the ball for damn near 70% of the ball game. Penn State is the first top 10 team to lose to an 0-4 team or worse since 1985. It hasn't been done in 40 years. It's time for James Franklin to go. And Penn State fans need to accept that, because your next games are at Iowa, at Ohio State, and versus Indiana. I'll be honest, I don't know if any of those are winnable. I don't know if Penn State will win a ball game over the next month with that schedule, with that coaching, with that quarterback, with that talent. And what's so sad is Penn State returned a lot of talent from last season outside of Tyler Warren, who went to the draft. And even at times, it seemed like they couldn't get him the ball last year. Looking at you, Andy Kotelnicki. Looking at you, James Franklin. But in their defense, the wide receivers are not good. There's no separation whatsoever. And when you don't have separation from your wide receivers, you are not going to be able to win football games. I don't care who you're playing. You're not going to be able to have effective offensive drives if your wide receivers aren't creating separation. And we saw that yet again. We saw that multiple times last year. And now it's showing up big in an ugly loss. And again, Drew Aller is just an average quarterback. The play calling from Andy Kotelnicki does not support the talent on the team. And that's kind of in a negative way. You really need to dumb down the play calling to support the talent on the team. And Penn State fans, I'm sorry, but we just got to keep it real here. We got to call a spade when we see a spade on NFL with AJL.